Some games are supposed to be played in the dark. Cthulhu will occasionally manipulate graphics and controls and whatnot. That's totally normal. That's what it says in the warning. You can probably read faster than I can talk. Anyway. Horror. I haven't seen the cutscenes yet because I skipped through them to test if the game was working or not. Yeah, it's telling us what to do. Private investigator. Dreams of the future. Was it a dream? Oh, I can read that fast for sure. No problem. The Arkham Asylum. February 16.
Now, at my end, I can fully see.
1922.
My last case opened in me a new fear. A real fear. A fear of myself, of what I am, and of what I've always been. All that I was is now lost. Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadows between worlds, and it is there I have finally glimpsed upon what lives in the dark corners of the earth.
Uh-oh. Oxy, welcome. How are you? Welcome in. It's gonna be a bit bad, isn't it? Ouch. Ouch. Okay. The writings of a madman. The prologue. The ignorant and the deluded are, I think, in a strange way to be envied. That which is not known of does go away. Yeah, okay. The game loads too fast. I can't read that. How are you, Oxy? Long time no see. Should have bolted the chair to the ground. Yeah, indeed. Arbitrary orbital marker. So, game tips are currently active. You can turn them off. All right. 6.5 years ago. Okay. So we see how we end after this adventure. No, this is 1915. That's isn't that 7 years earlier?
Robert, this had better be good. What's the beef?
Sorry, Jack. We had to call. This fellow will only talk to you. Name's Victor Holt.
Don't know any Victor.
He's the leader of this weird cult that moved in here a few months back. Got about 20 followers. They've been causing trouble all over town. Stealing, going through folks' trash, hanging around outside people's homes at all hours. No one ever presses charges, though. They're a screwy bunch. They've got the locals scared. So tonight, we were just passing, you know, doing the normal rounds, when we heard gunshots fired from their property.
Gunshots? Hang on there. No one said anything about gunshots. Who have we got out here?
Yeah, just me, Nichols, and a few new recruits.
Well, that's just great.
Red shirts, they're
Lead the
gonna
way,
die.
Robert. I better check out this crazy gang of yours.
Cult. He said cult. Right? That's what he said. Yeah, I mean, you can't mask the fact that this game is 2006. If you turn reshade off, it's a you know, it's slightly blurry. So when you use this upscale texture thing, it ends up slightly blurry, and then I use reshade with the Quint sharpen filter at 0.7, which is quite enough sharpening, and then you have you can actually see that, right? Yeah, and then you have a quite good-looking game despite its age.
What's taking him so long? Something must be wrong.
I think I saw him with Officer Armstrong.
Evening, Jack. Glad you could join the freak show.
How's it looking, Henry?
I don't like this one bit, Jack. Check the alley on the right. Victor Holt's over there in the shadows. He's waiting for you.
Can we trust him?
Nope, but we've got you covered.
No.
You better take it slowly, though. They're a bit twitchy.
That's what they are.
Try to stay calm.
You better hurry, Jack.
Okay. Run? Okay, the new recruits are all dead. Not as much. Oh, okay, if I press shift, I go slow. I can lean left and right. I can go crouch. It's very dark here. Mm-hmm. What the hell is that? Oh, this. Oh, can we check that out? As I continue
to translate the narcotic fragments, I become more and more eager to contact my Yithian masters. These beings truly are gods to us. Their intellect and knowledge surpasses ours in ways impossible to comprehend. I know now just how insignificant mankind is in the universe, a doomed and simple species thrown up as a side effect of an experiment by the elder things. It is a blessing that such flawed creatures as ourselves have such a short and limited future.
Oh, they are the fun bunch. You have picked up your first journal item. Select the book icon in the interface to study your journal. It may reveal vital clues. When the book icon is grayed out, there are no new entries to read. Journal. My journal. Me? That's my heartbeat, okay. Inventory slots. The Diary of Jack Walters. We know what happens in the future already. In the evening of September 6, 1915. I guess I'm becoming a victim of my own success. After closing the last 5 cases so fast, the papers have been calling me a local hero. But I just had a run of lucky hunches, that's all. Just another cop doing his job. Sure. So there's a disturbance at a local residence. It's probably just a bunch of kids hopped up on moonshine. Why call in a detective? Maybe the uniformed boys are sore at being out in this weather and they want to share the joy with a local hero. Wouldn't be the first good-natured prank I've had to take since those newspaper reports. I don't know though, something doesn't feel right. It's more than just a regular bad feeling. It's hard to explain, but it's strong. And it's as mysterious as it is strong, that feeling that's so hard to explain. I'm probably just tired. Those dreams don't help. Can't remember when I last got a good night's sleep. Must be a month at least. Right about the time I started my run of lucky hunches. The dreams have been getting worse lately. I'm almost afraid to close my eyes. Bourbon helped at first, but not anymore. The lack of sleep must be affecting my nerves. Well, jitters or not, I better get going. Yeah, Jack, better get going. The podium sermon. You can reread that, that's cool. Tomes and manuscripts. This is general evidence, okay. Game time, 7 minutes, 2 seconds. Not yet available. Narcotic and analgesic class helps block pain but should be used with extreme caution. I'm gonna... I wanted to save, but that's not a thing. We should figure out if there are people here somewhere. And if...
You pathetic bastards!
Ooh. They're gonna shoot us or not?
It's locked.
Yeah, they were upstairs as well.
It won't open. It won't open.
It is locked. Oh, he doesn't look too well.
At last!
It's you.
You seem to recognize me. I don't get it. Empty ammo boxes and spent shells.
Right.
Nothing useful. An old wardrobe.
And lots of gunshots. He's got a gun. Oh. Don't I have a weapon?
Don't shoot. I'm unarmed.
Ah,
I don't.
we've been expecting you, Mr. Walt.
They shot the evidence. Oh.
Damn. He recognized me. And it sounded like he was going to get on the level with what's going on in this joint.
What's going on in this joint? So okay. What's that? Study.
The key. Could come in handy. He's dead.
He's dead, Jim. You've picked up an inventory item. Open the interface to view this item and its description. Highlight the item and click on it to use it with a character, an object, or even by itself.
Looks like a bad case of lead poisoning.
The voice for the character is a bit... They seem sleepy.
Poisoning by the looks of it.
Art, by the looks of it. Oh, we're getting all dizzy. Yup. Did I poison myself now?
He's dead. They're all dead.
What's that?
Poison appears to have been on the menu.
Yeah.
I can't open it.
Why is it so blurry?
A diary. This will make interesting reading.
What happened? Am I sick?
Nothing of interest.
Huh, okay. There are no highlights for items you can interact with or anything like that. Ah, the blurriness is gone. Okay, so what did we find? Diary of a cult member. August 20. Now it's September, right? Yeah, it's September 6. We have been watching him now for 2 months. I can feel my anticipation growing as the day of contact draws near. Victor has not yet divulged his final plan for bringing Mr. Walters to us. All I know is that we must succeed. The sermon today was inspiring. Victor enlightened us with the story of the great race transcending the bounds of time to visit his dreams. Sure. Of the conscious things on this earth and in the ocean depths. Depths. There's a hard word. We are but servants to a greater design. I can only hope that my faith during these last days will win me favor when our master steps through the gate. That's a cult for sure. The experiments below have claimed... Oh, below. Have claimed one more of our order. Another volunteer is needed, but many are willing. We are truly blessed through our faithful service now that his coming grows so close. Now that's 3 days before today. The preparations are complete and Victor's plan is in motion. He will arrive soon. Surely by now he must suspect his true nature, or at least question the nature of his gifts. Who, Victor? No, me. They're talking about me. His true nature. He has come. Finally it begins. Okay. A copper key with an S engraved. Oh, yeah, it said study on the label. So, the study upstairs.
It won't open. It won't open. The lock on the store is broken.
Oh, alright. This.
It won't open. The lock on the store is broken.
I think I don't need to use the inventory every time. What's in here?
The wood in those shelves looks rotten. It figures they'd collapse.
Rotten?
The shelves have collapsed and spilled books all over the floor.
And nothing of interest though.
It's locked.
It's locked.
It's unlocked.
Now it's unlocked. Ah, that was the key. Okay, so it uses them automatically. What? Wait. That's us. Isn't it? Smokey
The fire's still burning.
Huh? Oh yeah, it is.
What the hell is going on? It seems they've been tracking my movements.
And taking lots of photos.
Another key. This should fit the door across the hall.
There's an L on it. Okay.
I don't
Library.
understand. I mean, all of these photos. All of them. There must be some kind of mistake. Why would they want me here? It must be an old case. Something I've forgotten. Some screwball with a grudge, maybe. Think. I've gotta think.
But our heartbeat is so strong. But it looks the same here, doesn't it? Oh! Left leg, right leg, left arm, torso, right arm, head. Antidote, suture, splint, bandages. Okay, so we're gonna get in trouble, I guess. Yeah. Across there, there's this one then.
It's unlocked.
Yeah. Repeat after me. That's a secret spell.
For nutcases, they seem quite literate.
Yeah, it could totally be some...
These books are really old, and most of them are in strange languages I don't understand.
I hear moaning.
It appears to be a private study area. The drawer
holds an ancient manuscript. The symbols on the front seem to be written in classical Greek.
Mm-hmm. Oh. This manuscript looks medieval but claims to be a translation from classical Greek of a far older work from before the time of the first humans. The pages are stained even, faded and even burned in some places, making reading difficult. Too much text today. The legible sections tell the history of unthinkably distant antiquity. They speak of races so strange as to be beyond human comprehension and wars fought across vast gulfs of time and space. There are concepts so utterly alien that they sound like absolute madness. Time travel, flying polyps. Well, that's not so nuts. Mental projection, the great race of Eth. Well, it makes you dizzy just to read it. Hey Daisy, welcome. Enjoy the lurking, hopefully. Welcome in.
I don't have time to read. I'm a detective, not a pen pusher.
I'm a detective. Now we know.
There are definitely some strange sounds coming from this side of the room.
The broken mirror also. Ooh, and it works. Ooh. Did I just... Aha! There's... yeah, okay, there's a gap here.
Shit, that did not sound good.
No, not at all. Oops.
Well, that's just swell.
No, it's not.
He's dead. The beam must have fallen and crushed his skull.
Yeah, let's not stay in this wobbly part of it. Oh shit! Okay, the sound setup. Sounds need to be louder. Icarus sometimes runs fine again now. Nah, I'm gonna give it some time to cook.
Medical charts on the human anatomy.
But I'm happy to hear it
Medical
because
charts on the human anatomy. This sink would be used for scrubbing up.
Okay.
Dead bodies, and plenty of them. Something dreadful has been going on down here.
And cockroaches.
In all my time on the job, I've never seen anything like this before.
So this keeps reading the same, doesn't it? I wish I had a flashlight or something.
Seems like these cabinets are used for storing chemicals and medical equipment.
What the hell is that? See, there's this brightness setting, and I think I need to crank it up to 4 because I can't see anything. Okay. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be darker, but... What the hell is this? Don't press any buttons. Did they... What?
The contraption above seems to be controlling his breathing. Good God! What the hell is all this?
Looks like his kidneys. They're moving around in all that liquid. This pipe must drain the waste from his intestines.
Oh, that's pretty gruesome.
Looks like his brain. I wonder what those wires are for. Ah! It's too hot to pick up.
Nope, nothing of interest.
Okay, if I go into sneak mode, I get this weird vignette effect. I guess we go back down, because that seemed like it was a bit too bright. Another corpse? What's this then?
Oh, shit!
I'm actually probably not sorry that I killed him.
The machine must have overloaded. He's dead.
Yeah, he didn't seem to be enjoying his
The
life.
crystal's still warm.
A strange green crystal is warm and exhibits an unusual glow. Yeah. Nicely done, Nemo. Now you broke it. I think it is good that way. Oh. Burp.
This tunnel feels like it's gonna collapse at any moment.
Yes. Oh. I see. Do you see much? It's very dark, isn't it? What the hell?
It's a similar shape to the slot upstairs.
It doesn't sound good, that noise that coming from there. So they had a prophecy about some idiot who comes in here and presses all the buttons. Oh. And who might you be? Okay. Just as the body can, given time and rest, heal itself from injury, so too does the mind have its own defenses. Sure. Now this is February in
It's been more
2020.
than 6 years since I entered that strange house in Boston. But to me, it was just 5 months ago. Amnesia, the doctors called it. Probably brought on by acute mental stress. I remember investigating the far side of the library. There was screaming. According to the police report, they had searched the house for hours, only to find me later collapsed on the floor. When my eyes opened and I spoke, my colleagues recoiled in fear. There was something unnatural in my voice and blank gaze. They committed me to Arkham Asylum, where I was diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. As it became clear that I presented no danger to either myself or others, I was released from the asylum's care. I have learned little of my activities in the 6 years that followed. The accounts I've been able to piece together show much of my time was spent in travel and study.
That
I
was wrong
maintained a
German.
fanatical infatuation with the occult, delving deep into volumes concerning witch cults and dark legends.
often in languages unfamiliar to my own. When I reawakened 5 months ago, exactly 6 years after entering that house in Boston, no trace was left of what had been a secondary personality. I was myself again, or at least what I believed myself to be. Return to normal life has been a painful process. In recent days, my dreams have been plagued by cosmic landscapes, and I've become fearful of my own reflection. I am beginning to remember things from that day, more than 6 years past, that I've told no one else. Jack Walters.
Hello, Mr. Walters. My name's Arthur Anderson. I need your help finding a missing person.
I don't take that kind of job.
Did you get my package?
Hold on.
Yeah, put it in the trash.
What exactly do you want from me, Mr. Anderson?
It's one of my store managers, you see. Brian's his name. Ryan Burnham. Nice lad. He disappeared recently from the First National grocery store in Innsmouth.
Innsmouth? Never heard of it.
It's a small fishing town on the coast, not far from Arkham. I'd like to see you in person before you leave.
Hold on there a minute. I didn't agree to take this what the hell? I'll be here all day anyway.
Okay. It's a very loosely fitting story that they are brewing up here. It's like, yeah, didn't he play as a Secret World at any point in time? I wish I could play the original Secret World again. Oh man, that was good fun. I mean, it doesn't look good anymore. It looks quite horrible, but just for the puzzles, I guess, would have been cool. A new client. I have a new client, Mr. Arthur Anderson, the regional manager of the First National grocery store chain in Innsmouth, which we have never heard of. One Brian Burnham is missing. From what I've been able to gather, Burnham is something of a young rogue. A friend of the family, Mr. Anderson, gave him the job as a favor. Mr. Anderson. Yeah, I mean, imagine Hugo Weaving would do the reading here for the voice acting. That would be better. I think I might get accustomed to the main character's voice, but it just is not as good as I hoped it would be. It's too monotonous, I think. Like, oh look, I'm very surprised at finding out that this is probably an alien spaceship or something like that. And that sounds the same when I say, yeah, this is Mr. Anderson on the phone. And that's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could play without the voice. There are always subtitles, right? Well. Anyway, Burnham is looking like the prime suspect for the robbery. But there are a few things that don't add up, not to Anderson and not to me. For instance, why would Burnham force an entry into the store when he had a full set of keys? Free access to the cash register and the combination to the back office safe. To misdirect any investigator? If that was his plan, why did he disappear? That's true. Following my conversation with Mr. Anderson, I found out what I could about the ancient town of Innsmouth. Ancient! For generations, the crumbling seaport and its people have been shunned by neighboring communities. Outsiders are unwelcome there, and there are superstitious tales of a strange element in the town's oldest families. They are of mixed blood, so the stories go. Whatever that's supposed to mean, the usual Hicktown prejudice, no doubt. After making a brief visit to Innsmouth, my client came away distrustful of the local authorities. He isn't buying their line that Burnham robbed the place and wants to know what happened to him. Only one bus goes to Innsmouth, and tomorrow afternoon I'll be on it. It feels good to have a purpose after 5 months trying to break through my amnesia. I also feel a little apprehensive. Maybe it's the wild stories about the town, or maybe it's just because I haven't had a case in so long. Or both. Or all of the above. I do not expect the reader to believe what I'm about to relate. Any sane mind must reject such a fantastic tale. From the start of our investigation in Innsmouth, you will have a permanent supply of morphine. You will temporarily spend any movement speed and so on and so forth. Pay attention to all the dialogue and also read all the text. If you can. Because that's very fast.
Driver, how far to the stop?
It's almost there. I'll drop you at the town square of Innsmouth.
Why lock the gates?
Keeps out wanderers looking for work. We don't want those folks like that interfering with our affairs.
Is the bus from Arkham always this empty?
Aye, and we prefers it that way. Not many come to Innsmouth.
But what about trade? Surely the port needs business.
Innsmouth has the means to look after her own.
Gave him a nice subtle lisp. Head is missing.
This is it, stranger. End of the line.
Seems like a jolly fun place. Oh, I just saw he turned invisible. Looks a bit weird.
Could you direct me to the First National Grocery Store? I hear they have a shop in town.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, well, you see, I'm looking for a young lad called Brian Burnham. I'm a friend of the family. He worked in the store.
Don't know who you're talking about, fella.
Sure.
Chit-chatting to him's gonna get me no place fast.
The Gilman Hotel.
That way's blocked by a police line. Excuse me, Constable. Jack Walters.
Robes. Alien robes. What do you want?
Could you help out a stranger to this fine port?
Are you being funny?
No, not at all. I'm after directions to the First National. I hear they have a store in town.
Innsmouth don't take too kindly to them from out of town. Get lost, stranger.
Yeah. What do you want? Maybe you.
I'm looking for Brian Burnham.
Sorry, stranger. I can't help you.
Well, maybe we can get a room in the hotel then. That's surely going to be a very nice place. The graphics and colors and whatnot. I never really played Kingpin. Yeah, brown, and a bit of green. Don't forget the green.
Evening.
Aye.
The name's Jack Walters. I'm just visiting.
You don't say, sir. Gilman. Charlie Gilman. I run this here hotel of an evening.
You got any rooms?
I'd not rightly know that for sure. All habits cleaning rooms at present. Them's from out of town can leave a horrid mess.
They all look like zombies.
Talking to this fellow's getting me nowhere, and he's more than a touch creepy. If I need a room and I'm desperate, then I'll come back.
Shotgun shell. Okay, so no dice. No dice in the hotel. Oh, see, there's the hard to find First National Grocery Store. Let's ask for directions though, so that we don't miss it. Be cautious when sneaking past enemies. To avoid detection, keep in cover. Well, I'm going to turn off the helpful hints because they are telling me that there's an enemy before there's an enemy. Right? How is this the inside of the grocery store?
Ah, you can't come down there.
The police clearly don't want me snooping around. I need to be more careful.
Okay, so they blocked off the store.
It won't open. Won't budge.
With a good wine piping, with a good wind piping early in the tall and gallant mass. My boys, these are the joys of the noble and the brave.
Keep on singing, mate.
In the tempest strife, in the home of the mountain wave.
Yeah,
When the
let me stop
driving
you.
rain of the hurricane puts the lights of the lighthouse out, and the growling thunder sounds his gong, and the whirlwinds battle
It won't budge. Nothing of interest. A seedy-looking bar called the Garden. Unfortunately, it's shut.
No, we were bold and brave, and we loved the fight
It
in
won't
the
open.
wild midnight, in the
It won't
storm
budge.
of the mountain wave. The timbers creak and the sea birds
He
shriek.
doesn't stop.
There's
Okay.
lightning yon
So the
yon
bar is
flash.
closed. I don't want to talk to him really. Dark and dreary is what this is. Cool. They actually talk about me
It
there.
won't budge. The door's bolted shut. Nothing of interest here.
He's gonna come from there.
It's unlocked.
Nice. We don't have any inventory shenanigans. Oh shit!
What they doing snooping around here? Get out!
Aw, now that I got past him, he did get back into the shop there.
That alley leads around the back of the First National.
It's the wind. It's cute, isn't it? In between, it's a bit cute.
Assorted paperwork, but nothing of any real interest.
What they doing snooping around here? Get out!
Okay.
Damn. I need to be more careful.
I wonder where I'm supposed to hide there. I hope this is the only sneaky mission. It's not. I think it's not. Maybe I can't run around and just have to sneak like this. Oh, did I miss him already? I did not.
These shelves look light enough to push. If I want a decent snoop around, I'd better do something to block that. Perhaps I could use them to block the door, to give me more time to look around. These shelves look light enough to push.
They sound like they're made from stone though. Right.
The till's empty. Looks like the door was forced open, and there's scratch marks on the wood.
Not much here.
These posters are everywhere.
Yes. I found something. Now let's see if we can get through this door.
A typewriter, invoices and receipts. Nothing of interest. There's a bottle of bootleg rum and a wooden handle. Stock reminders and general notices. Nothing of it.
A wooden handle.
Interest.
For lifting tractor. Now, if you'd be a trapdoor,
invoices and receipts. Nothing of interest.
Where would you be?
It won't open. No real surprise. The drawer is empty.
He found me.
What they doing snooping around here? Get out! And what have you got there? Trying to take evidence.
Oh, come on, seriously? He takes that away? I'm not so sure if this type of gameplay is exactly what I was looking for.
Son of a bitch.
So you find a wooden handle Or a trapdoor, but no trapdoor inside. But you need to find the trapdoor in order to get out. Yeah, I think you have a gun later on, and there's some shooting going on, but it seems to be certainly a mix. It could be that it's just this first part that's sneaky, but I don't know. And the thing is, the game is too dark in this setting. So I'm turning it up to 5 because I can't see anything. If I'm supposed to find a trapdoor. Maybe 4 is enough. Where is he at? Is he now sitting in the store waiting for me? That would be bad. Ah, he's coming back. Okay, I missed him on the way there. So, ooh, hello.
The window's smashed. I can see what looks like an old dark room.
Yeah. Hey, Chris. So, we want to get in there, but this door was locked, right?
The door's bolted shut.
It has to do with that symbol.
It won't open.
Now let's see which way he's going now. You gotta be very patient for this. Oh crap, he's going that way. Okay, so oh, and then you have to, yeah, okay. I think this bit at least goes down in history as bad gameplay, doesn't it? It's not really about being sneaky. We could just walk as soon as we, you know, just walk past him.
Perhaps I could use them to block the door, to give me more time to look around.
And it's not about being sneaky after
These
this.
shelves look light enough to push.
Right?
Assorted paperwork, but nothing of any real interest. Can't see anything of use. The till's empty. Nothing of interest.
Right.
There's a bottle of bootleg rum and a typewriter. The drawer is empty.
And where would you find a trapdoor here?
It won't budge.
There.
It looks like I need...
I couldn't see that earlier because it was too dark, so it's good that I did change the settings. Faster! That was fast. Oh crap.
Who whoever's down there, you can rot.
Okay. Alright. So we got past that bit. How is our... Oh, we're fine. Okay. We had no problem falling down there.
It looks like a diary. It's gotta have some clues.
Yeah, we also found that other thing, but it doesn't appear here, does it? The Boston Globe, 20th August 1909. Enlightened or duped inside Boston's strangest church. Those of our readers who live near its headquarters in an ordinary-looking Boston residence will need no introduction to the Fellowship of Eth, or whatever the cult's name is. For those who have not encountered this mysterious semi-religious group before, a few words of explanation are necessary. Since our country's founding upon the basis of religious freedom, its shores have been home to many small religious groups outside the mainstream. No small number are headquartered in the states of New England, where the Pilgrims themselves sought a new world free of religious persecution. But the question must be asked, at what point does a religion become a cult and its trusting adherents, not to mention its blameless neighbors, become victims? That is the question this journal poses in regard to the Fellowship of Eth. In a month-long investigation, our intrepid reporters have diligently sought out the truth behind the so-called church. Its origins are somewhat mysterious. The more so since the group's leaders declined to be interviewed, of course, or to assist our investigation in any way. However, it seems that the Fellowship was founded more than 20 years ago by one Victor Holt, based on a revelation he had received from beyond the confines of this world. Holt has not been seen for almost 6 years. His followers apparently believe that he is communing with the mysterious powers behind his faith and that he is shortly to return with new insights and teachings. All this sounds like a harmless, if eccentric, spiritual group, like little different from many others. However, those who make their homes near the Fellowship's headquarters tell a different, more sinister story. The adherents of this obscure sect are to be found loitering on street corners, casting menacing glances at their innocuous neighbors and frequently engaging in acts of petty crime which the local police seems powerless to prevent or address. Strange lights have been observed burning in the windows of the old houses at all hours of the day and night. I mean, wow, the threat is like they got their lights on after 10, after 8 even. Jesus, think about it. They change color unpredictably and cast weird, unintelligible shadows. Even more disturbing are the noises which have been heard to issue from within the mysterious building. They include chanting, unearthly music. They are outside my house, right? That's what they're doing. Worst of all, screams like those of lost souls in agony. Okay, well, that's the first bit where I think, yeah, well. Many of the sect's neighbors are convinced that its services include human sacrifice or similar atrocities, like having lights on at all hours. Those few who dared complain to the police were told that because the house is private property and because there is no concrete evidence of any wrongdoing, the most they can do is file a noise complaint. Are the horrors of Salem being reenacted in our city more than 2 centuries on? Is this Fellowship of Eth engaging in unspeakable and criminal acts of worship involving torture and sacrifice? Why is nothing being done to ease the fear and distress they cause to the local community? That's a lot of text. A source within the police department, speaking on the condition of anonymity, would tell the Globe that the Fellowship is suspected of involvement in a number of local crimes, but so far, the lack of evidence and the reluctance of nervous witnesses to come forward have thwarted any official investigation. Very well, we say, where the police cannot or will not investigate, the Globe shall continue to act in the interests of Boston citizens, fearlessly exposing the truth about the so-called church and its followers. I sound like the newsreader from Not for Broadcast in a minute. Our findings will be published in these pages over the following months so that all may know the truth. Editor's note. It is with great sorrow that the Globe announces the death of reporter Howard Edelson, who was leading the paper's investigation into the Fellowship of Yeek, when he apparently drowned in Boston Harbor. Whoopsie daisy. The coroner has ruled his death a suicide. Our condolences go out to his family. It is totally not connected to whatever we wrote before. The Arkham Advisor. Well, that's the neighboring community. Grocery store robbed. Manager missing. Thieves have robbed the First National Grocery Store in Innsmouth, breaking down the door and forcing open the cash register. These ungodly deeds. Tremble. The newly appointed manager, Mr. Brian Burnham, has been missing since shortly before the robbery. This is a very disturbing turn of events, said Mr. Arthur Anderson, First National's regional manager, from his Arkham office. This branch had only recently opened, and First National Grocery had high hopes for its success, given the general lack of modern stores and amenities in Innsmouth. And, you know, the happy people there, keen on shopping. The robbery is a definite setback, and more worrying still is the fact that the branch manager remains unaccounted for. Innsmouth authorities could not be reached for comment. Yes. What does Brian write? Well, I agree with the locals on one thing. I shouldn't be stuck in this miserable excuse for a town. I can see why nobody comes here, that's for sure. Another slow day at the store. At first I thought people were staying away because First National isn't local, but I haven't seen anyone go into any of the other stores either. Come to that, I haven't seen the other stores open for business. This place is deader than dead. Still, it won't be long before I'm out of here, before we're both out of here. She's the one good thing about Innsmouth. We'll bust open Old Man Wade's safe, take a car, and then it's New York City. Bright lights, nightlife, everything. I show her all of it. See, he was a burglar after all, and a thief. A thief. So, I'm completely unable to recall what led to my confinement in the Arkham Asylum or what happened to the 6 years between my two visits there. They tell me I had some kind of personality change that night in Boston. They watched me for a while, decided I wasn't dangerous, and let me go. After 6 years, I switched back, just as mysteriously. They admitted me again, found nothing wrong, and here I am. Among the personal effects they returned to me is a leather-bound journal. Perhaps it will tell me what I've forgotten. Looking through the journal, all I can find is my life as a police detective. There's no hint of any illness or mental strain or anything else that could explain my change of personality. Or the equally sudden recovery that still baffles my doctors. However, a number of pages have been torn from the journal. Who did it or why, I can't tell. Did I destroy them myself to suppress some horrific memory, or did the asylum staff judge their contents detrimental to my treatment? Why was part of my life erased? What is it that I can't remember, and who wants it to stay forgotten? Now this is slowly forming into something that could be an interesting mystery, right? So I'm kind of hopeful that we don't have to sneak past the Innsmouth police all the time in this game, and that not every text is as long as the Globe entry we had. You know, that was a very long text, but it actually works for the game, I think. The there's first aid, what we found earlier. That's what bandages look like. Yeah, it's a bit of a slow start. So we fell down here. Looks like we could open it, right?
Standard storage ladders, used for getting things down from higher shelves.
What's this then?
I can feel the air through holes in the brickwork here. I can feel the air through holes in the brickwork here.
Okay, so there's a way to open that. Yes. And I found it. That's totally what I wanted to do. Exactly as I planned it.
The cellar's filled with human remains. These people must have died a long time ago.
Yeah. Ah, this is the dark room that we were seeing from outside.
There are some issues of the Innsmouth Courier lying here, and they're dated 1846.
1846.
Old photos of Innsmouth. Most of them have faded beyond recognition. Old photos of Innsmouth. Most of them have faded beyond recognition.
I'm not sure. I think they were skeletons. Innsmouth patrician arrested. Tales of Heathen Ceremonies by John Lawrence, editor. Obed Marsh, the head of Innsmouth's wealthy and influential Marsh family, now sits in the city jail accused of devil worship and other unspeakable practices. The whole community is left in a state of shock by the horrifying revelations that accompanied the arrest. Yes, I think so. So far, at least, it could have been. Readers will no doubt be aware of the deep reservations expressed by the Courier's editorship and other decent citizens concerning the esoteric Order of Dagon, which was founded by Captain Marsh after his return from the South Seas and is said to be based upon a primitive religion he encountered among the uneducated natives of certain distant Pacific islands. So you have to absolutely have to understand that this is based on something that is very old and has back then been very iffy with the whole primitives and race theory and all that. So you kind of have to be aware of Lovecraft's tendency to write a lot of bullshit in that regard, but it was very, very popular bullshit back then, I think. Right? But some of this is gonna be weird from today's perspective. The captain's arrest seems to lend strength to those suspicions, and a full investigation is expected to unearth more bodies, right? Probably. Up to this point, it could have been a point and click, and I think the other Cthulhu games were point and clicks, weren't they? The Comet, Shadow of the Comet, whatever it's called. Where are we now? That's ammunition. Now the shooting starts.
Nope, nothing of interest.
An old printing press. So they did shut down the paper, huh?
General notices. They're all dated 1846.
A brush.
Newspapers lay scattered in molding heaps. The door's bolted shut.
Ah, that's the back door that was bolted shut previously.
It won't open.
Yeah, Chris, you got it. You got it.
General notices. They're all dated 1846. Nope, nothing important here.
But it looks so very important.
Ah, from the stench in here, this noose broad must have kicked it a few months back.
Yeah. Oh.
Nothing of interest here. It won't budge.
Hello, Jack.
Do I know you?
Lucas Mackey. Sorry to startle you. Innsmouth doesn't get a lot of visitors. New names spread fast. What are you doing in town, Jack? Hear about the missing Burnham boy?
Not bad. I'm a private detective. My client's a friend of the Burnhams.
Seen the latest press from Arkham? Your boy's been quite busy.
What about you, Mackie? You're obviously not a local. What's your business in town?
True enough, Jack. Nothing too exciting, I'm sorry to say. I'm a government factory inspector. They posted me in this rotten hole to check over the old Marsh refinery. Speaking of which, I've got an appointment with the manager, Jacob Marsh.
Okay. Maybe I'll catch you later. That's the first friendly face I've seen in this damn town. But I've been in this business long enough to know he's hiding something.
Yeah.
It won't budge.
And he was curiously precise in his timing to just stand there randomly.
You better keep your trap shut.
I won't tell him anything.
So something's on the roof. Shall we try the hotel again? In yesterday's edition, we reported on a burglary at the recently opened First National Grocery Store in Innsmouth. The case took a new turn today as authorities in the town named Brian Burnham, the store's manager, as a suspect in the case. It's not that the town is named Brian Burnham, right? Burnham has not been seen since the robbery and is thought to have left the area. It's a very straightforward case, said Chief Constable Andrew Martin in response to inquiries by the advertiser. This young man simply robbed his employer and fled. I imagine he's out of the county by now. If not the state, maybe even the country. Who knows? The Chief Constable dismissed concerns expressed by First National Grocery that Burnham may have been kidnapped or injured. How many times can you write First National Grocery Store Regional Manager in the game? Oh man, seriously. Right. I feel like the character here, the main character, needs to get a bunch of sleepies. Yo. Zombie mate.
Hello, Gilman.
What do you want now?
Strange thing about that Burnham lad.
Burnham? Kent Riley says I know what you're talking about.
That's odd. He was all over the Arkham press. Must have been a bit of a local scandal.
Them's matters for the police, stranger. Innsmouth's not a town for rumoring and talking.
So do you have like a room?
How's business?
Can't you see I'm busy? Stop bothering me with your talking.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm plenty sure you are.
So he said someone was...
It's locked.
Cleaning up here?
It won't budge. It won't budge.
It won't budge. It's locked. It won't... It really sounds like in point and click. You cannot do this yet. That doesn't work.
Stop your snooping. And there's for hotel staff only.
Yeah, right, sorry.
It won't open.
Okay, I'm a bit at a loss. Am I just gonna walk randomly around town until something scripted happens? The poorhouse.
The sign says, Innsmouth Poorhouse, in memory of Lady Warnes.
What did he say?
It's a variety store, and it's closed.
Hmm.
It won't budge.
The Esoteric Order of Dagon.
It won't budge.
Alright.
Do you know the Burnham lad? He worked in the First National.
Please, stop bothering me, stranger.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It won't budge.
I'm just gonna walk up to every door, click a button. Oh. Now, everybody's gonna go to church? Oh? Ah. Hmm. I mean, it's been an hour, and I have not much of an idea if this is going to be interesting at any point.
This town's deserted. Where is everybody?
If you don't like it, just turn around and leave.
I mean, he does have a point.
A device that pumps highly compressed air.
Oh, he said Marsh Refinery. Now we find the Marsh Refinery.
Evening. The name's Jack Walters. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss...
Miss will do for now. Welcome to Innsmouth, Mr. Walters.
Thanks, I think.
Take my advice. Do what you must and then leave. Tonight. This port does not cater well to visitors.
While I appreciate your concern, miss, I can handle lousy hospitality.
Very well, Mr. Walters.
Is she the one who gifted the poorhouse?
This doll seems more open than some folks around these parts, but she isn't going to talk to me right now. It won't open.
Right, let's go to the factory, see. Yeah.
That bridge spans the Monuxet River.
Oh, look, what a surprise. It's Mr.
Hello,
I'm the inspector.
Jack, swell to see you again. Any leads on the Burnham case?
Nope. Did you know the lad at all?
Just pleasantries. Seemed a nice enough fella, if a little rough around the edges. Strange business, though. I'd never have fingered him as a crook. The First National was a well-run store, a rare thing here in Innsmouth.
Okay, Mackie. Thanks.
Goodbye, Jack. Be careful what you're doing. Very careful. Innsmouth's a dangerous place. Not everyone who visits here ends up leaving by the old bus route.
This Mackie character knows plenty, but I don't think grilling him for scraps of information is going to crack this case.
Well, gee, thanks for the vote of confidence, game.
It won't budge.
Oh, to everybody's surprise, this door is locked.
It won't open. A storage depot. It's shut. It leads to the north side of Innsmouth.
Such a pity. I thought it would be a bit more engaging, you know? Somehow. And now I have walked all there is to walk. Thank you for the follow. now we're back on Washington Street, where there's the bar.
It's just an advertisement for the local Methodist church.
Right?
It won't budge.
Huh? Who's that there? Oh, can you spare a few pennies, young mister? I can give you something for your generosity.
Who are you?
Zadok, that be my name, though too few use it now. Zadok Allen.
Do you know a Brian Burnham?
Just a young'un. Worked over the store. He's gone. Killed, I reckon.
Killed? What makes you think that?
Them's from out of town running a store. Taking business from the Order of Dagon. They'd not accept that.
What else can you tell me about this port?
You just bring old Zadok a bottle of something nice, and old Zadok will fill your ears.
Well, I'm not yet loving this game, but if you tell me that it's gonna get better later, I will take that into consideration. Yeah, we have the bottle.
If you pardon my asking, have you lived here in this port all your life?
Last 37 years in old lady Warren's house. Before that, over by fishing cannery. Cannery.
Old Lady Warren's? You live in the town poorhouse?
Go and fetch me a bottle of something to wet old Zadok's whistle, and I'll tell you all.
Okay, so the game-solving puzzle is to give the drunk something to drink. Who would have thought?
Why, you're uncommonly kind, young feller. Here'll be a little something in gratitude that might help you in your search.
What's that then?
Now you be calling me crazy. Like them that's there rumoring in Ankrum and Ipswich. But old Zadok's seen all manner of wicked things since before you was born. Old Captain Obed where it all began. Telling desperate folks they'd order get better gods. Them's that would answer their prayers.
Didn't the Christian folk of Innsmouth object to such blasphemy?
Aye, they did. It were around 46 that many folks in town were done with Obed and his ways. And all that wild preaching and too many missing, you see. A party of good folk followed Captain Obed's crowd out to the reef. Shots were fired. Next day, Obed and 30 of his followers were in jail. And for weeks all were quiet, till that artful night of 46. Them's out outside reckoned out it being a riot. But I'd seen them, swarms of them.
Look, old man, I don't have time to listen to these fishing tales.
Oh, was a massacre. The jail thrown open. Mounds of the dead and the dying. Shooting and screaming and shouting all across the town square. Come morning, the mess was cleaned up. Old Obed and his family takes charge, they did. Folks were told to keep shy as strangers if we were knowing what was good for us.
Zadok, who did all this? Who did all...
Said the old captain was now deeper in debt to his heathen gods. They were hankering for more than just sacrificing. Obed told folks they had to take the oaths of Dagon.
What the hell are these oaths?
Whoops.
You just asked old Wes about oaths of Dagon. Aye, he take the third oath. Just head over to his hole in the Dock Street. Then you'll see for definite.
He's given me a key to the town poorhouse. It could come in handy.
Okay. There's no need. Yeah, the bot loves that quote. I'm not sure.
Tonight, boys,
Oh, he's singing again.
fight, but the winds which are
Oh, I did really not expect to. It really works like a point and click. The whole logic of it. You go into that alley. There's a drunk guy pissing in the corner, and you
Mr.
just
Walters,
turn around.
I must speak with you.
Yes.
It's Jack. And just hold on there a minute, sweetheart. Are you gonna even tell me your name?
My name's Rebecca Lawrence, and unless you want to join Innsmouth's long list of missing, I'd urge you to follow me.
Missing, huh? Like Burnham?
Of that, I'm not sure. You'd be better off asking the Billingham's daughter, Ruth. She was dating Brian.
What? Who's Ruth?
Quickly, you have to follow me. It's not wise to be seen talking to outsiders.
Keep up, detective.
Jack, Innsmouth is a strange place. There are things that have no business being here. Foul, reeking things.
Strange. Trust me, I'm good with strange.
That remains to be seen, but I can help you. My father discovered this strange sign while studying an old manuscript. It seems to ward off the more unusual elements in Innsmouth. Whenever you find one, you can use it to find a moment of sanctuary. Now, I must leave before we're seen together.
Did we just get a plot explanation for a safe spot?
I've seen that eye-like symbol somewhere before, but never surrounded by a star.
I think we did. Yeah, the eye-like symbol was next to the dark room we saw earlier. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that wind there. It's a big one. Lima, thank you for the follow. I can see how this game has potential to grow into something better, but I have to tell you, the start is slow, long-winded, and kind of flimsy. The story is not really coming together far enough to, you know, convince me to continue, really. But if you say it's going to get better, that's good. I know this game has like a bit of a following, and I heard good things about it. That's why I'm checking it out anyway. And I'm a sucker for a Lovecraft story, so yeah, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. It does also remind me a bit of Resident Evil, in terms of pacing, color scheme, and save system. I will probably not enjoy having to redo long sections, but it has, between saving the game, it has these checkpoints, right? You don't go all the way back, I guess. So yeah, I can see that it has potential at least. It's a rare thing to have a detectives game from the first person that is actually good. So, for what it's worth, we now had a good look at it. Well over an hour, I think. And I think I'll continue. Resident Cthulhu. I'll continue this another time for sure, but not today. For today, I'm going to stop.